Tak samo
Here we
jak
go.
zawsze.
Tak jak kiedyś.
No,
Udostępnij. Jedzie stream. Już dostałem powiadomienie z Gmaila.
dymy dół. A w ogóle OliX nie jedzie dzisiaj. On jest w ogóle Championship Leader,
Aha.
więc... Klasy jedzie? Klasy jego jeszcze nie ma. No,
No niby ma być 17 kierowców, ale też są te reserves.
ta. Lasy powinien być tu. Dobra, zobaczymy.
No Oleg z Aston Martinie, a Lassie się ściga?
No powinien.
Aha.
Dzisiaj. On
Tick to
dał.
trzeci.
Jedzie.
Shaz czwarty. No wiesz, nawet że Olix nie ściga, to on i tak będzie dalej na pierwszym z no minimum 13 punkty przewagi.
Ta.
To też zależy, jeśli Lassie dołączy i nie zrobi se kraksy.
No. Ale ta przewaga, no, którą ma Oli do pozostałych z tyłu, to jest kurde ogromna, no. Jeżeli nie bierzemy Lassie, to kurwa mać, to jest 87 punktów do Tig. A Tig jest trzeci.
No, jest całkiem różnica.
Ta.
Dominacja.
Max Verstappenin.
Bart
Ma...
Tsunami.
Ta, też go znam. Z innej ligi, a właśnie z tej innej ligi to on został wyrzucony.
Siema, niezła ściema.
Musisz? Mamo, błagam. Ja gadam z kimś.
Przyniosłem tylko ciuchy twoje.
Ciuchy. Bla 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 bla. O ty! Uż ty. Zaraz się dam sralu.
Oma.
Mamo, on cię słyszy.
Co?
On też jest Polakiem.
I się pośmieję trochę.
Jezus Maria.
A skąd jest?
Skąd jesteś?
No znaczy, no skąd jestem? No z Polski, tylko że ja jestem w Finlandii.
No rejon polski jej chodzi chyba.
No rejon, miasto.
Województwo.
No, województwo, chyba lubuskie.
Jakie? A lubuskie.
Lubuskie.
Lubuskie, tak?
No.
Czy to spod granicy niemieckiej?
Lubuskiej?
Lubuskie to spod granicy niemieckiej.
A to nie pod nami? Pod Podlasia?
U nas jest lubelskie.
A lubelskie. To samo.
Nie to samo.
Ty, może wyślij do tego streama.
No wysłałem, tylko Shaz nie patrzy na Discorda. Czy ja mogę pisać w ten?
Tylko, że ten...
A no ja mogę. A, nieważne. Cyk. Wysłałem.
Okay.
No streams. Tylko nie mogę add everyone.
No nie, to on wtedy.
Rapapara. To co,
Dobra,
musimy
już.
teraz gadać po angielsku?
Tak.
Okej. And already someone's joined the stream.
Polska Kokom. Dziwne. Zaczynasz, czy ja mam zaczynać?
No będę nosił.
Gdzie? Ona nie noszona nawet.
Nosiłem.
A to co to jest?
Też spodnie.
Ty, bałaganiarz.
Zostaw mnie.
Alright, so we are
Nie mam.
in Div 1. As you might recognize me, it is me, Wildstorm, co-coming with the NSA or Nico.
Dom.
Yep, Dom, whatever. Yeah, as a co-commentator, he's technically the main commentator, but I'm starting, I guess.
He is the Sigma.
I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are here in Netherlands, Zandvoort,
Kiedy masz pi?
and yeah, in the championship. Let's look at the championship real quick, since it took so long to send the stream. OliX absolutely dominating this season at the moment, 127 points. His points. Second is McCluskey, 88 points, 39 points behind Ollie. But you might see that Ollie is not racing today. McCluskey is, so this is a great opportunity for Ollie, McCluskey, to catch up to Ollie by quite a long margin. Maximum that he can gain up is to 13 points behind him going into the next race. But yeah, this is a great opportunity for McCluskey. And then behind McCluskey is Tick with 40 points. And then after that, it is pretty close between everyone. Tick in third with 40, Shas fourth with 39, Alfredson 37, Olaf 33, Tsunami 26, Alfie 25, Switcheroo 23, Ruggy 15, Tom 14, Ibrahim 13, Steps 9, and then pretty much it goes down to Marco Weeby, Niklas, Draco, Brothers, and Oli B, who have points, and then after that it is DJ, Brownie Boy, GP, Cal, Criplax, Wumax, Cutthroat, Wave, Yuri, Corvo, and Tilted, who have no points. In the constructors, Aston Martin are being very much helped by the fact that, well, Oli is leading the championship by quite a long way in front of McCluskey. So they're in first with 168 points, 41 points clear of McLaren, who have 127. Behind McLaren is Red Bull with 75 points, Mercedes fourth with 65, Ferrari 48, Williams 24, Alpine 23, Haas 9, V-Carb 6, and Sauber, like in real life, down at the bottom, but they have that one singular point, at least for now. Yeah. So yeah, that was the championship standings as of right now. GP is about to cross the line to finish his first flying lap, and he's done a 1:11.404 on the mediums. Quite a lot of people on the mediums, and as well some on the inters, some as well. Actually, Ibrahim is the only one who is on the softs out on track. Yeah, just many people doing their times on the mediums just to see where they do their times and not use that many softs.
Yes, and now the main Inter runners are now making their way towards the line as Ruggy goes onto provisional pole position, 1.3 seconds clear of GP, both on the same compound tyres. And as the rest of the drivers slowly round the banking and the rest of the circuit, what will be expected as next across the line will be not Peace Control Tom, his teammate Switcheroo going up into P2, just a tenth off TW Ruggy. While more drivers cross the line, Nicholas goes up into a provisional 1-2 for Ferrari. Jose goes into P4 as Peace Control Tom actually goes on provisional pole and he spoils the possible Ferrari 1-2. And if Switcheroo has a 14 tenth improvement, he may even make a possible 1-2 for Red Bull. As loads of drivers slowly start on their laps now. There's an Alpine of Ibrahim making his way through the carousel. And he's going to dash into the long right-hander. He's gotten a 24.5 Sector 1. Is that good enough for a good position to maybe challenge for that provisional pole off of Peace Control Tom and the Ferrari and the Red Bull? But as they circle their way around the last couple of corners, and he's got the last proper DRS straight that he will have. What can he set? Actually, wait, no, the banking that's what DRS starts with the banking. I didn't even know that. But going into the second to last corner, I'm going to round out the banking. What will the Alpine set? The next driver to put a lap on the board. DRS flap open. And charging down the straight, he's got a Haas ahead of him of Kryplax as he goes up into P5, the same time as the Red Bull of Switcheroo, and it's really close laps at the moment up at the top 5.
Yeah, by the way, it is full qualifying for you, just to know. It's not short qualifying, and as well, it's realistic. Realistically speaking, Alpines shouldn't really be going for pole position, but of course, crazier things have happened. For example, in Vegas as well, Gasly up in third somehow. Kryplax on a lap 25.391 through the first sector. That's almost 7 tenths behind Ibrahim. Kryplax might not be the fastest, but I guess just does the job done, as Ruggy improves his previous time by exactly a tenth, and Ruggy is back up into P1. First driver to go into 09s, 09.949 for the Ferrari reserve driver at the moment. So if I was kind of surprised that Tom actually went faster than Ruggy. Ruggy is a very, very quick driver compared to Tom, which from my experience isn't that fast as Ruggy, but a good surprise from Tom either way. Shaz has started his first flying lap on the softs. Tsunami is the only one to be out there on the inters actually. Kryplax up to 11, 12, 3, 2, 6. Then Marco starts his first flying lap. Let's see what can the Quali Merchant do. Tsunami is the next one to cross the line, but he's of course on the inter, so he's gonna be up down there with probably Alfredson and maybe Kryplax. Actually, no, he's gonna be even behind all of them, behind him in steps. Alfredson is gonna start another lap, and yeah, Shaz through the second sector split. Second sector is gonna be 48.002 for Shaz. Now through turn 10s, 11. And then, actually, 11 and 12, and then into the second to final corner, turn 13, a bit of a slide on the exit of turn 13, and then the final banked corner, turn 14, using all the ERS and, of course, DRS that he got. And he goes P1, 09146, absolutely smashes Ruggy saw him by 8 tenths, but of course softs compared to mediums, so Ruggy should be able to, well, catch up to that lap just with that tire advantage. Marco goes fastest out of the medium runners, 09760 for the Aston Martin driver. And yeah, you.
Yeah, and as making his way around turn 1 is Steps, ready to hopefully improve on the previous lap set of a 113.4, and can he bounce back anything off it as
Alfredson.
Yeah, Alfredson goes up into P8, and as he makes his way steps through the carousel, the first sector is a 24.9, an 8/10 improvement from his previous lap time, which guides him to at the moment, beating his teammate if all the timings will be correct, but I think if he gains enough speed, he can probably even challenge for top 7, top 8 maybe. I know it's realistic, but we'll see how the rest of this lap pans out and can maybe fight for a top 10 position as he's 1.7 up. 1.7 seconds up puts him still in a similar position, puts him nowhere near the front. DJ Def Dragon goes up into P12. The Haas of Kryplak starts his lap. And as you can see, more going into the pits, and now out emerges the second Haas of the two. And as he charges down the straight, he goes up into P12, a 1:10.9, 2.5 seconds quicker than this previous lap, and it's looking really good from the Haas on this with this car. And looking further back, going through around the banking, or we switcheroo, who goes up to P2. The kick Sauber Alfredson finishes in lap, but hasn't actually gone into the pits. But switcheroo is now the quicker medium runner, while Bard Tsunami goes up into... No, not Bard Tsunami, I'm blind.
GP.
Yeah, GP goes up into P9. And more drivers slowly restarting what could be an improvement of their lap times, as making his way around the banking, Lussie, ready to start his lap, currently second in the championship, with his teammate in first place here in Q1. Can he fight with his teammate for pole position going into Q3 later?
Yeah, McCluskey, of course, seems to be the quickest driver, at least on the, standings. McCluskey the first sector, 24.232. Of course, winning and especially taking a pole position won't be easy, since there's, of course, Marco, who is a quali specialist, even though as much as I say that quali merchant and all that, he is a quali specialist anyways, through turns and a bit wide from that curbing. And into the second sector split, what's it going to be? 47.976. He's going advance faster than Shaz through the second sector on the exit of turn 12. Now going into turn 13, Shaz had a bit of a slide there, a bit of honesty it looked like from McCluskey. Tig in the meantime goes second, 0.9259, and McCluskey through the finish line goes fastest, 0.8857. The first rider to go into 0.8, and he is roughly 3/10 in front of Shaz. Let's see, of course, what can the other drivers do. Marco out on track on the same mediums, it seems like it. Of course, not everyone has to go out on the softs yet, as people that went out on the softs just really want to see what their pace is like on the soft tire, going to Q2 and into Q3, of course. Tsunami, the only one on a lap, is in 2.4 seconds and 3.7 seconds as he crosses the line, goes right behind his teammate Marco, but of course Marco did his time on the mediums compared to Tsunami, who has done it on the softs, but still close behind Marco, and a very good position to be in P6 at the moment. Marco starts his lap. Tig probably is going to go into the pits as he has no fuel to start another one. Probably the same with McCluskey. So yeah, at the moment Marco is the only one on track on a flying lap. Gets a bit of traffic from a Haas, that is Kryplax. Is he gonna get out? He's not really looking like he's gonna get out of the way. Kryplax is he's just sitting there, and only now he has realized that Marco was on a flying lap. So that's pretty much destroyed Marco's time, and he has backed out. Marco has completely backed out of that lap, so Kryplax sitting like a duck on the racing line has blocked Marco's flying lap. And yeah.
Yeah, as Bard Tsunami makes his way down into the pits, looking around the track, the bottom four, which are actually provisionally to get knocked out, are all out on the track, ready to set a lap in, trying to get out of the drop zone. Alfie Hudson, and Bradders also make their way out on the track. It's a 3-man queue in the pits, or 2-man, sorry. Look like 3 rear wings there, but as they make their way around the turn 1 pit exit, they are now going to start the laps and also start their out laps as DJ Death Dragon and Kryplax, who's already invalidated.
Yeah, Kryplak's already invalidated on the exit of turn 1. Kind of a interesting place to invalidate, not the one that you would really think. Not really a track as well. This one that you would really think that it's easy to invalidate, but Kryplak has invalidated. He does have enough fuel to start another lap, and as well enough time to start another one, so doesn't really have to worry about that much. Brownie Boy and Dragon on their flying laps behind Kryplak. Steps has just now started his probably final flying lap. Of course, we'll see if he's gonna invalidate or not. Dragon through the first sector, almost 1.5 tenths faster. That'll put him provisionally up to 15th. Second sector, 4 tenths faster. That'll put him, I think, just about in front of Hudson. Maybe just about behind Josephiles, but that's half a second. To be fair, he would need to gain a lot more through this third sector if he would want to be going in front of Josephiles. And he's going to cross the line. And where is he going to go? P12, 110. 2-0, right behind Alfredson, but a very good position for Dragon for now. Meanwhile, his teammate Brownie Boy goes only up to P17, 10-8, 7-0 for Brownie Boy, unfortunately. Steps in the meantime, the closer driver to be on to well, finish their laps. And Steps was improving, I believe, by almost or over 6 tenths through the second sector. 6 tenths that would put him somewhat between GP and Josephiles. Can he improve on his time more? And yes, he does. P10 for him. 10-1-6-3 for Steps. 2 thousandths behind Niklas. Alfie Hudson not in a flying lap, but he is doing another one. Steps retires. Of course, probably he doesn't have fuel and anything really left. Josephiles improving on his second sector by half a second. Ibrahim is about to start his final flying lap as there's not enough time to start another one. Josephiles is about to cross the line and he goes up to P4, 09670 for Josephiles. What a lap from him. Well, should be easily into Q2 like that. Dragon apparently starts his second flying lap. Then that is going to be GP crossing the line, and it is going to be P10, 10-0-6-3 for GP. Very good time from him. Then Alfredson is about to finish his time. Rocky is out there on track. Niklas isn't, so that's kind of interesting to see that. Alfie Hudson, second sector, 4.5 tenths faster compared to his previous time. 4.5 tenths, that would put him up into P12 about there. Kryplak has retired and he is officially out of qualifying. There's still Hudson, Brothers and Brownie Boy in the dropout zone, but Hudson is about to improve his time and he does go P7, 09840, so he should be safe in that position. Now Ibrahim crosses the line, he goes P9, 09913, and these will be officially final flying laps. Josephiles is going to be going into the pits. Dragon, can he improve on his time? No, he can't. He stays out down in P16. Brothers as well has retired, and Brownie Boy is as well done with his qualifying. So that is done. Alfredson, I don't know, does he know that, but he is safe in P15. Of course, that would be good if he would just improve on his time to see what his pace is like. He's going to cross the line nicely, and he goes go P11, 09985. Ruggy, not on a flying lap. No one is on a flying lap anymore. So there it is. Dragon, Brothers, Brownie Boy and Kryplak are the first riders to be out of qualifying in Q1. Steps just about managed to make in, as well Niklas. A bit close there for him in P14. Only 2,000 in front of Steps, but most importantly, he's through into Q2 on the mediums, so he didn't have to use any of the softs. The same with Tom, Ruggy, Switcheroo and Marco are through with the medium tire. Of course, Rocky did use those softs a bit, but anyways, didn't fully do out lap, flying lap, and in lap. But yeah, completed his lap on the mediums. It is a McLaren 1 and 2 in Q1 with Tig in third, Josephiles fourth, Switcheroo, Marco, Hudson, Tsunami, Ibrahim, Ruggy, Alfredson, Tom, GP, Niklas, Steps. That is the top 15. And then, of course, Dragon, Brothers, Brownie Boy, and Kryplak rounding off, well, rounding off the grid that are out of qualifying.
Yes, it's been a somewhat eventful to the end of qualifying, as all runners that were trying to fight to get out into and go into Q2 all just aborted laps, especially from the further back. I saw Brownie Boy. I was flicking through the drivers. Brownie Boy had spun, so that really pulled him out of the running, and that's probably why he retired. But going to Q2. And looking into Q3 later, it looks like it's going to be a possible McLaren 1-2, maybe one of the Red Bulls or Ferraris, or maybe even Marco can catch up and hopefully fight this McLaren charge here in the Dutch Grand Prix. But looking around, it looks like Shaz and Lassie look like the front runners for pole position going into Q3.
I just wanted to chat and not you actually speaking as well. And but yeah, that is true what you said. They are looking like favorites for pole position as of right now. But of course, Marco did his sign in Q1 on the mediums, and yeah, he has been really a great driver in qualifying. In the races, a bit more questionable there, but in terms of qualifying, he's like the master in the first race coming out on track. We have Rogi, Switcheroo, then their teammates of Niklas and Tom. Tom on the mediums, the same as Switcheroo and Niklas as well on the mediums. Then we have an Alpine of Ibrahim, Mercedes of Hudson, then as well GP and Marco on the softs, so we will see what his pace is like on those softs. Then as well Steps on the mediums too. Then Tsunami on the mediums as well, and seems like no one else. Okay, I lied. That there's Josephiles coming out on track. So that leaves Tig, Alfredson, and Shaz still in the pits. And McCluskey.
Yeah, and the two McLarens probably doing a better move to wait for the track to clear out a bit instead of the monsoon of drivers ready to get a baseline lap for them. And as Ruggy slowly starts his lap time, he's got Switcheroo not that far behind him, probably just like just a corner apart from each other, so no slipstream will be taken from each other. But also two main teams for this pole position at the moment. We are in Q2, but looking like favourites for a pole position in Q3. It's a 24-3 from Ruggy Sector 1. Switcheroo said couldn't get to see what Switcheroo actually said.
24-5-9-0.
So he's only 2 tenths behind the Red Bull switch. So Ruggy looks like to get the first place baseline lap here at the opening of Q2, a 48-1 and a 48-7.
48-7.
Yeah, splits them more. Looks like an increase for Ruggy now being 4 tenths quicker than the Red Bull Switcheroo, and Switcheroo is desperate to gain any more time in these final corners as Ruggy charges down the straight. It looks like a 109, a 109.1, very close from the lap that Lassie set in Q1. Switcheroo already a second behind. Ruggy's teammate Nicholas in P2. Tom pushes him down. Ibrahim goes over to P3. Next is the V-Carb of GP. Down the straight, looks like a 110, a 110.3. The Mercedes of Hudson, not on a proper lap, as Marco goes into P1. Still not in the 108s yet, however. But can anyone else have a response to that as we see the Steps making his way going up into P8? Next on the medium compound tyre as he rounds the banking and charges down the straight. Looks like a 109. It's going to be a 109, or actually a 110.4, which puts him in P8, which is not the best of positions compared to what he had in Q1, where he was a bit further up the grid, or like in a better position than what he had now. As Jose Felez goes into P3, A Mercedes of Tig ready to start his lap, currently third in the championship. Looking around as well, you can see Switcheroo diving into the pits, and as all the the drivers ready to get their baseline laps out have finished, as also Ruggy is going again, it looks like. I'm not sure why. You can see he's on a hot lap ERS medium now, so it may not be a proper lap, but we'll see how the rest of the lap pans out. As Alfie Hudson goes up into P7, 1 second off the Marco's lap time, which is 1:10.1 from the Mercedes. So we can see 1:10.1, sorry, not 1:10.7. I was looking at the hundredths. But anyway, Aston Martin also making its only Bard Tsunami and 2 seconds off the lap, meaning he's now probably going to his in lap as he only has 70% ERS, not the amount you want for a flying lap. So it's obviously the end of Bard Tsunami and ready to go back into the pits. As the Mercedes probably going to go into the pits, but Tig is going to cross line to 109.4, goes where he is in the championship up into P3.
Rug invalidated.
Oh,
But yeah, Rug invalidated on the exit of the second final corner, but he wasn't that far of his best time. He was like a couple of hundreds away from that first sector, 33 thousandths away, and then second sector that was 27 thousandths away. So those like two laps on the same tire isn't really that surprising on this game. Of course, it might seem surprising compared to maybe 23, but in 24 you might see sometimes drivers do that, maybe because they see that they have done a mistake on the first lap, and that they can feel that they can just improve on that lap, so they'll go out again to try and improve that time. But then as well, with those ERS modes, when you saw that he's going onto the medium, it's just really about ERS management to have the most optimal ERS usage per lap, because usually during the lap you'll that's like the amount of ERS that you can use per lap, that green bar is gonna usually like go off during the lap, probably on the final straight. So you just want to have that green bar as long as possible during the lap, so that actually will be actually using the ERS and not going fully like no ERS on the final straight. So that's why he was as well going on the medium, the ERS mode. At some points you might even see drivers going on none if it's a really slow corner that you don't really need any sort of ERS usage, as Shaz in the meantime has gone second, 09117 for Shaz, pretty close to and probably even faster than his Q1 time. McCluskey coming out of the pits for the first time in Q2. In the meantime as well, Tom and Niklas are on their flying laps. Niklas through the second sector, half a second faster than his previous time. Tom through the first sector. Let's look at him quickly. It's gonna be a 2.5 of improvement. Let's go back to Niklas as he is about to cross the line as well. Switcher in front of him is on a fast lap and he goes 6:09.552. Niklas goes up to P4 09163, right behind Ruggy, 6,000 behind him, very close for that P1 at the moment. It looks like Marco is he on a lap. It looks like he is as well on a lap. So let's see what he can do. Can he improve on his time? Yes, he can. 09001. That's 2,000s behind that 08 mark. But improves his P1 lap time to over a tenth in front of Shaz. For now, Tom is on his flying lap, almost 6 tenths faster to his previous time, and 7 tenths faster as he crosses the line, goes behind his brother Niklas, 09222. So very good lap as well from Tom. McCluskey is going to start his flying lap in the meantime. And there's at the moment no one else on a flying lap. Tig is going to be the next one, but he's still got that third sector to go.
Yes, and Lassie rounding his way through the first couple of corners, making his way now into the S section. And the first sector one is looking very quick. It's a 24-2. Looking like he's going to set another 108 like he did it back in Q1, but this time it could even be even quicker as he rounds his way into the next couple of corners, the mid part of the track, and ready to finish his sector 2 with this second to last DRS straight. And as he dashes his way down the straight, he's gonna try and hit the apex. A 47.9 is his sector 2, which I believe is quicker than what he did in Q1. A bit of a snap at the exit, however, which could cost him some time, but this lap is still looking really quick. He may even still stay in the 108s. As he goes into the final corner, he's charging like a bull. He's going to cross the line. He goes into first place, and it's a 109.9, 108.9 on the soft compound tyre, as everyone is actually on the soft compound tyre at the moment. Looking further back, it's Tig. Not Tig, sorry. There was a Mercedes of Alfie Hudson starting his lap. There's a Red Bull of Switcheroo.
Invalid.
But yeah, he is invalidated. The Aston Martin of Bartunami starting his lap as he just finished his out lap. And most drivers currently in the pits, ready for that last run, for that now or never run. But now it's Tig, who's actually on a slow lap, 10 seconds off the pace. Maybe can improve this lap, as he has 80% of ERS to use on this track on the rest of the lap. But we are going to kind of grab our attention to Alfie Hudson, who's improving by 2 tenths. He is looking to jump out of the drop zone. He actually sets a 48.4 in sector 2, still 2 tenths up. He still needs some more time gain to actually have a better position. He needs an extra 4 tenths to 3 tenths to beat Switcheroo. But we'll see how he does. He's going to go down the straight cross line. So 109.6, who just puts him a tenth off Switcheroo. And he is maybe in 10th, but he has 3 tenths gap to Alfredson, which could lead to him staying up, as the Bar Tsunami actually pushes him back down. The Aston Martin, 7 tenths clear of his previous lap, jumps up to 8th place. And that pushes Alfie Hudson back down, and he needs to get to the pits quickly, get a new set of tyres, and set a new lap that can obviously get him out of this drop zone.
Yeah, at the moment it is looking very close for that, drop zone. Of course, the from P12 downwards, of course, is not looking that tight, but then when you look up into the front, then it's looking a bit closer. Josephiles out of nowhere on that Alpine, trying to get into the Q3. Tsunami as well with that Aston Martin. Of course, Aston Martin is not that bad in this game, like in real life. AKA Aston Martin in real life is like last car in sort of performance. Here it's about there with Mercedes, roughly. So it's still good for drivers like Tsunami and Marco at the moment, that they're not driving a little shit box at the moment. Switcheroo has just started his flying lap. Alfredson is about to start his lap. Ibrahim coming out the pit. GP as well is about to start his lap. Steps is on his flying lap. Behind him he has Switcheroo. Let's see Steps his first sector. How much can he improve? He's a 10th up on his time. He would need a lot more than a 10th though. Switcheroo second down on his time. So this is not going to be a flying lap. He's going to go for a second one in a row, trying to get that one done. Marco in the meantime retires in the pits. GP is about to start his lap. Steps through the second sector split. Can he gain a bit more time through the second sector? Yes, he can, but it's only 2 tenths through the second sector. At the moment, he would be only going in front of GP, which, yeah, it will be still quite far behind Switcheroo's time. Of course, it is quite impossible to go faster than a Red Bull. I mean, it is going to be about 8 to 7 tenths behind Switcheroo, as he is going to cross the line about. Actually, a very good time from him, considering he's in a Haas. 09969. Nice. 4 tenths behind Switcheroo, so it's not that bad considering that he's in a realistic horse and Switcheroo is in a Red Bull. Like I said, Switcheroo is on another flying lap. There is as well McCluskey out on track. There is as well Roggy. Alfredson not on a flying lap. GP as well not. Ibrahim is on a flying lap, pushing through the first sector. First sector, how much can he improve? Only 11 thousandths through the first sector, almost nothing. Hudson is actually Hudson might not make it to the finish line. Yeah, he will not make it. 20 seconds to go, and he's only midway through the second sector. He will not make it. So Hudson is going to be out of qualifying. Right here, as he's about to go into the third sector, he will not make it to the finish line in time. He is out of qualifying right then and there. Switcheroo won't be able to do another lap since his second flying lap isn't good. And so he can only pray for the drivers behind that they're not going to actually improve. Actually, he did improve. Actually, he improved to go 1,000 of a second in front of Tsunami. Ibrahim goes 12:09.759. Steps is done with his qualifying. GP still on the lap. Alfredson is as well. A tenth up for Alfredson. Of course, he's driving a John Deere, so it's gonna be very hard for him to try and go up into P10 09.464. That is almost over half a second in front of him. McCluskey improves his time. Exactly a tenth up on his time. Alfredson goes in the meantime into P13 09.760, 100 of a second behind Ibrahim. Rocky improves McCluskey's time to go first, 09.819. GP is going to cross line, but the gap that he's going to gain is only 2 tenths, and he stays in P15. So it is Hudson, Ibrahim, Alfredson, Steps and GP out of qualifying, and in Q3 we will see Tsunami, Switcheroo, Joseph Iles, Tom, Niklas, Shaz, Tig, Marco, McCluskey and Rocky fighting it out for that P1 and P2, of course, for every single position as well, but mainly for that pole position. It'll be mainly fighting for that pole position. That it is going to be very crucial on this track.
Yeah, it was a decent qualifying. No invalidations this time round. Unlike in Q1, we had a couple. But going into Q3, it is probably looking like it's going to be either Ruggy, Lossie, or Marco running for this pole. But obviously, we can't count out Tig, Shaz, or Nicholas, or maybe even the 2 Red Bulls. But at the moment, they're really underperforming to the realistic performance kind of stereotype to what they have at the moment, as obviously Red Bull are supposed to be the best team on the grid. But going into Q3 with lots of expectations for who can get pole, and looking now at the Q3, who do you think is going to get pole?
Who do I think is gonna get pole? I mean, it is gonna be very very close with McCluskey, Marco, Roggy. Maybe you could sneak in Shaz in there, but it's mainly gonna be between Roggy, McCluskey, and Marco. And I still believe in Marco, the quali specialist, to get that pole position in here for the race.
Yeah, as you can see, Shaz is making. Oh yeah, I think the same thing. It's probably going to be either. I think maybe McCluskey can sneak in a pole, but also I think Ruggy's going to get pole. Honestly, how he's driving and getting first in Q2 is kind of showing that he can challenge McCluskey for the provisional pole position, or even pole position towards when the countdown finishes. But obviously. But yeah, I think Ruggy's going to get pole, and then either Lussie or Marco will line up alongside him on the front row.
Yeah. I mean, it is going to be very close at the top. Shaz is already doing initial D through turn 8, seems like it. Trying to get that tire heat into those, and the heat into those tires. Getting that heat into those tires is very crucial, but and it is as well very hard. So, I mean, it is very, very, very tricky overall in this game, but it is what it is. They will have to. Oh, fuck. Uh, what I'm trying to say, it is very difficult to get the heat into the stars, and they will just need to deal with it. Their times of the time trials are gonna be a few tenths away in most cases, as Chaz goes very wide through turn 1 and he abandons his first flying lap. Switcheroo is going to be the next one to start to be on a flying lap. Behind him there's Roggy on an out lap. Let's look at Switcheroo for some time, as he's the first one. Sector 1 for Switcheroo, 24.274, so that's a very good first sector element for Switcheroo. Behind there's Marco, actually no, it's not Marco, it's Tsunami. Further back down is Josefiles on a flying lap and Sig. Okay, let's fully focus on Switcheroo a little bit in here. As we know that he's the first car to be on a flying lap. Second sector 48.211 for Switcheroo, not very, very good second sector. It's not gonna be an 08 at this rate. Bit of a wobble on the exit of turn 12 into turn 13. How is it gonna be a very good one? And DR's open through this banking. Car a bit bouncing, and he's gonna cross the line to go, of course, provisional pole position 09.293 for Switcheroo. Behind it is gonna be the next car. Well, Tsunami is gonna finish his time. Rocky is gonna finish his time. Then it is going to be Shaz going into the pits. Then it's going to be Joseph Felix going P2. Tig goes provisional pole position 09.193. Exactly at 10 in front of Switcheroo. But Marco sets the fastest time of qualifying overall. 08.695. Smashes Tig's time by almost exactly half a second. Now it drops down to 4.5 tenths. Now, what, like 4 tenths, 3.5 tenths actually, to Niklas as he goes P2 09.043, Tom third 09.156, McCluskey, I saw something else, but McCluskey is about to cross the line to finish his flying lap. Can he take that provisional position from Marco? Yes, he can. 08.673 goes in for Marco by 21 thousandths, and he's on top on provisional pole position. There's still, of course, Roggy through the second sector. Apparently, his second sector is a purple one, but those purple sectors on the map are very deceiving. Roggy crosses the line, and he goes P3 08.750. So our predictions pretty much are going very good in terms of the fact that McCluskey, Marco, and Roggy are going to be very close, and it is very close. 0.08 of a second between them from McCluskey to Roggy, and in between them there is Marco. So yeah, our predictions are going well in terms of the top three, but then for me, Marco is in P2, and for you it was Roggy, yeah?
I said either. I think I put. So yeah, I put Ruggy on pole, and then either Lusty or Marco to alongside him on the front row. But looking around, except from his tyres up, and getting ready to be the last driver to set a lap, at the moment. Bar Tsunami ready to go into the pits, and it's only Ruggy who is also looking to go into the pits, and Shaz will probably be the only driver out on track. But as we look at the map, there is someone going out on track. It's the Red Bull of Switcheroo. So he will accompany Shaz on this here in Zandvoort. But as
Hopefully he's
Shaz,
not gonna block him.
As Shaz dives into turn 1, he's gonna charge towards the first tricky corners of this circuit and going into now the high-speed corners, and then in sector 1 it's a bit of a snap from the McLaren, but he's going with it, overtake on, and he charges through the carousel. It's a 24.4 from sector 1, so not as quick, looking to be around P4, P5, and as he dashes into the mid part of the track, as he breaks to the 50-meter board, he's going to circle his way onto the second DRS straight. and he's gonna try and actually improve from that sector 1 that he did. It's a 48.0 from sector 2, so he's looking quicker. May even get into the top 3. He will definitely set a 108, and that is for certain. Well, not really for certain, unless he does a mistake here, but it looks like to be a 108 or a high or a 109.1. But as he dashes towards the final straight, he's going to set a 108.8, jumps up to 4th place, a good distance between Nicholas, and not that far off TW Ruggy. And now Jamiro, oh, not Jamiro, Switcheroo, starts his lap time. I said Jamiro because I remember seeing Jamiro's name being like brought up in the comments, because apparently it wasn't supposed to be Ruggy replacing, no, it's not, Ruggy wasn't supposed to be reserved, it was actually supposed to be Jamiro, and, but I guess, I mean, Jamiro, I don't think he joined at all, but Switcheroo dives for the right-hander, and what can he improve?
He's a second down, over a second down.
Oh, didn't even realise.
He's not even using his ERS. But yeah, I mean, he was in the lobby, but then he got probably booted out. But yeah, for Shaz, if it wouldn't have been for that mistake through turn 3, I think he would have been like a lot closer to that pack, and I think he probably could have gone in front of Rogge actually. So unfortunate for him that he did that mistake. Hopefully he has another set of softs, but well, we will have to just see. Does he have a second set of softs? Switcheroo is about to start his second flying lap on those softs. In the meantime, his teammate Tom is out on track, as well as his brother Niklas is out on track. And Switcheroo through turn 2 and into turn 3. It's aggressive there. Very early apex there from Switcheroo. Through the S's, and first sector was going to be a 24.213, decent one. At least he's improving by 600. That would still put him in P8, as he's in P8. But of course, there's still 2 sectors to go. Through turn 9 and into turn number 10. This long left-hander going with the DRS boards, and then second sector, what is it gonna be? A 2/10 improvement compared to his previous time. That would put him between his teammate Tom and Niklas, so he would be splitting those 2 brothers out. Switch through the final corner, through the final banking, using all his DRS. There's as well open, and let's see what he can do. A 08926, and he goes P5 in front of Niklas. Tom now has started his lap, but he's not using ERS, so he's not going to be on a flying lap. Niklas is on a flying lap. Now he's on a flying lap, but he's not using his DRS. Okay, no, he's not on a flying lap. He's not on a flying lap. So at the moment, no one is on a flying lap. It seems like it, and no one wants to start the times too early. Apparently.
I think they're doing basically 2 outlaps, and as you can see, Bartolami already weaving, trying to get the tire temperatures up and running before any mistakes or just the lap in general. As we have 1 minute 50 left of the session, everyone who comes out of the pits now will definitely complete a lap. They won't have a second one, but they will obviously complete one. Shaz and Ruggy still in the pits.
No, Ruggy's out. Ruggy's out.
Oh, Ruggy's just gone out on track. So is Shaz. But the Red Bulls, I think, so Tom's ready to start his lap. Obviously this will be his proper one. Switcheroo is now in the pits, and that's him for qualifying. Now looking further back, it looks like Nicholas is going to set... Oh, it's not going to be a setting lap. It's obviously his second out lap, but this is where the lap starts. 89%, 90% of ERS to use for this, for the rest of the lap. He has 1 minute. He may even get in a second lap if enough pace, if he has enough ERS and pace to use up, but it's probably highly unlikely, as the 2 Aston Martins together circle around the first 2 turns 1, 2 and 3, and they are doing a lap together, probably with slipstream, and that will be their first and only lap for the end of qualifying. But now the battle for pole is going to get extremely spicy, with the first one opening the timings, and Tom doesn't barely improve, doesn't even improve a position, stays in P7. However, Nicholas is actually invalidated, so that's him for qualifying. So is Switcher and Nicholas, but those two are out of the running. And as the clock ticks down and it's Q3 over, the checkered flag is out. The first people to finish qualifying will be the two Aston Martins. And first up, Marco crossed the line. He goes on provisional pole by 7 thousandths. His teammate Bartanami jumps up to 8th. And looking around, the next two drivers across the line will be Tig as he dashes for the banking. He's going to hold the inside line. Will he improve? Will he improve position? Currently in 9th place. He is going to overtake, to jump up to 6th as Lussie goes back on provisional pole with a 108.4. And it is
Shaz
just...
second.
Shaz is actually in second.
Ruggie is not improving. And with Tom not improving as well, it is done qualifying right in here, and it is McLaren 1 and 2 here in Netherlands. Zandvoort taking the full advantage out of the fact that Ollie is not in here. Lassie and McLaren, they have done everything that they needed to do in qualifying, and they just need to replicate the same thing in the race. Of course, it's not going to be that easy with Marco right behind. Ruggie as well. Through turn 3, I saw him making a slight mistake there. Through the first sector, he was already 2 turns down, and in the second sector, he was already done. Switcher in 5th, Tig 6th, Nicolas 7th, Tom 8th, Tsunami 9th, and Joseph Viles in 10th. Of course, driving fast with that Alpine is very hard, but he did what he did. He did what he could, and he's in P10. And this is the starting order as well for the race.
We already know who got knocked out in Qs 1 and 2, but looking into the final Q3 results, it is obvious that McLaren is having a great Saturday here, and qualifying is really trying to reflect that off with a 1-2 for the McLaren party. Aston Martin in P3 and his teammate in P9. Aston Martin is not looking as strong without Olix, obviously, and it's just see how it goes into the race. Marco, as you have called him, the qualifying merchant, only does get P3. It's a good result, but obviously he can always do better. But he is still on the second row with Ruggie. So let's see how out. P.S. Barca.
Yeah, we're about to start the formation lap, probably soon, maybe, at some point.
The drivers need to make their strategies, get ready for the 36 laps of Zandvoort at the Dutch Grand Prix in Tier 1.
Yep.
Surely strategies don't take that long.
I don't know, maybe someone is taking a piss. But okay, formation lap has started. And let's see what the tires are in here. McLaughlin going aggressive with the softs. I did Prestige a couple of weeks ago, and I saw that, like Tig is doing right now on the softs, he started as well. I think it was 6th as well for Tig, or it might have been a different driver, but with those softs, there was Tig and another driver in Prestige. They worked together with those softs. They were able to get away from the drivers that were on the mediums and hards, and they just work together. They use the DRS to their benefit. They got away from everyone, and they just, for the rest of the race, they were up there, just themselves fighting for the win. In the final stages, no one could catch up to them within the DRS distance at all. So if McCloskey is able to get away from Shaz and everyone else, then this would be absolutely perfect. And if Tig would be up there as well with him, then working together with him, then that would be absolutely perfect. There is one hard runner, which is Roggy. Of course, he's going to be struggling in the first opening laps. Probably the probability of him losing places is going to be very high. Then further down there's Shaz, Marco, Switcheroo, Niklas, Tom, Tsunami, Ibrahim, Alfredson and Steps on the softs, and then the rest are on the softs, which are Lassie, Tig, Josephilas, Hudson, GP, Dragon, Brothers, Brownie Boy and Criplax on the soft competitive tire. Drivers already lining up to their grid slots. And who of us wants to do the fiber lights?
I guess I'll do it. But what is this camera angle for
Okay.
broadcast, man?
Just go onto onboard, and then after that, just after a few seconds, just go onto the broadcast.
Five red lights here in Zandvoort. And it's go, 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 and it's a good start from both McLarens, especially from Lassie. They both get away quickly, with Ruggy sending it down the inside on Marco, but Switcheroo has caught in lacking, and Ruggy is in a 3 wide, as he's nearly got absolutely
and there
taken
goes
out.
Niklas, Ruggy into the wall, and Niklas as well, damaged front wing, disaster for the Ferraris, down in 14th and 16th, Ruggy all over the place. Niklas, like I said, has front wing damage, so this is already a destroyed opening laps for him. Alfredson goes onto the grass through turn 7 off the track completely, so his race has as well gone down a bit, but it's a complete disaster for the Ferraris, being caught out by the 3 wide. Probably it was with Switcheroo and Marco there, and then Niklas got caught out by the drivers in front, just going a bit too slow into turn 2, but a complete disaster for the Ferraris. But it is a complete masterclass for McLaren's. As of right now, they're still leading in 1 and 2 formation. McCluskey is of course going to be trying to run away from his teammates. That would be the best thing for his championship. McCluskey of course setting a fastest lap. Switcheroo, Tig trying to overtake on Switcheroo on the inside, using those soft Swiss advantage. Can he get him? He's still side by side with Switcheroo. Yes, he does get him into turn 2, so he's up to 4th position. That's what he as well kind of wanted for the first opening laps, avoiding as well all that chaos. Josephilas is up to 6th from 10th position. I think Tom was caught up in that incident with Roggy and Niklas. Hudson up to 12th. Tsunami stayed in 9th. GP up to 10th from 15th position. Dragon as well up to 14th. And the rest of the pack pretty much only gained 1 position, or maybe down by 1 position, but there are of course few who got massive amounts of advantage out of all of that chaos on the first opening corners. McCluskey already 1.8 seconds in front of his own teammates. This is absolutely insane by McCluskey, and this is what he wants, of course, and this is what I tried to say and describe. Tig already as well, using all those softs to his advantage and overtaking Marco on the main straight, goes up to 3rd, and his next target is going to be Shaz, who is right in front of him, and he of course is going to try to overtake him and run away like McCluskey is. Those softs in the beginning of the race are absolutely rapid compared to the mediums. Of course, then it depends on the second stint what they can do, but we'll see. Behind the Dragon and Niklas going a bit close. Niklas still running with that damaged front wing, so of course won't be able to run full pace. What he wants, the downforce of the front grip, is gonna be absolutely nowhere what he would want. But he's still trying to to just stay out there on those mediums. Walls are close around here, so a chance of a safety car should be quite high. Well, high. I mean, on the if there's gonna be a crash, then probably there's gonna be a safety car. Tig right behind Shaz. The gap between Shaz and McCluskey was 82.4 seconds. Tig with that DRS will be able to overtake him easily. He has as well more ERS on the main straight. Easily overtakes him before even starting lap 4 for them. And he's up to P2. Mark as well maybe tried to go for it. But in the end it decided not to. Meanwhile behind Ruggy overtaking Dragon as well. Niklas overtaking Steps. Steps trying to go for the switchback, but doesn't have the run, so Niklas up to 13th, Ruggy up to 15th. They'll be trying to slowly as well recover from their disaster, what they had. Of course, none of their fault. Niklas got caught out, and as well Ruggy got squeezed by the two drivers around him, and then after that, just well, his car was out of control. In the meantime, Brothers goes off track through turn 8 and 9, going over that very high curb and just going straight on. Rocky is gonna try to get him around the outside, but Brothers got snap of oversteer on the inside, and Rocky, who just overtook Dragon, is now behind his teammate Brandyby and almost got overtaken by Criplax. So Rocky's luck is, it seems like it is running out in the first opening laps. It is running on very low. Lassie, of course, is not able to now get away as far from Tig. In the meantime, Switcheroo overtakes Marco, so he's down to 5th. Switcheroo, good start to the race, as well as he's up by, well, 1 position, but still one more position that he would probably, of course, think that you would get. And yeah, you.
Okay, and you can obviously see that Lassie has already built a very strong gap on second place, who is at the moment Tig. But looking further down the order, as you can see, a fight for that second podium spot. A massive fight for P12 at the moment between Steps and Nicholas. But it is looking really close in the lower midfield section, as obviously Nicholas is trying to get away with this realistic performance kind of bonus to him, but at the moment it's not really working, as he's only 3/10 ahead of the Hask, and obviously he will be at a DRS. He will be without DRS compared to the drivers behind him, as he's at the moment the leader of a massive train spanning from 12th to 18th. And as you can see further up the grid, Shaz and Tig side by side, and Shaz cannot get past the Mercedes just yet. Ruggy jumps up to P15 further down the order, but we are going to focus more on the fight further up the grid for fights for more points, fights in the championship for points again, obviously. As you can see, the fights for P10, the gaps are really spaced out. The closest gap for fighting for points is obviously between what we are watching right now. As further down the order, as you can see, Marco trying to overtake Switcheroo, and it's just these couple of drivers spanning from first, it's probably from 2nd to 9th. I can probably all slip in a podium if they have enough speed to catch up. Definitely depends on Alfie and Bartonami to have enough pace to properly join this train, and probably with Alfie Hudson's DRS and Bartonami's, it's probably going to be a massive benefit. But now Tig is once again without DRS, and coming around the banking, the slipstream is pleasant for Shazad, and he pulls to the left, and he's going to try and dash around the outside into turn 1. Can he get ahead? Yes, he can. It's back to a provisional 1-2 for McLaren here in the race, and Switcheroo is also trying to attempt to overtake the Mercedes to get himself onto provisional podium places.
Ooh, down the order, 3 wide there was between the two Fries and Brothers. Niklas in the meantime has lost a position. Brothers gets a bit caught out, and the two Fries actually touch through turn 3 a little bit, but somehow both of them are in front of Brothers, who isn't well, that's keen to really drive that cleanly, what I've seen. Niklas, of course, trying to defend now. Ruggy is probably at this point a bit faster on those hards, as they are up to the temperature, but Nicholas is struggling on that damage fronting. He is very struggling. In the meantime, up in front, Tom is in front of Josephiles. But the Brothers is very, very close behind Nicholas. He's trying to get him somehow. But at the moment, the two Ferraris are doing a good job of trying to recover. In front, McClussy's gap is a bit shrinking. Tig overtaking Shaz on the main straight, and that is a very easy overtake for Tig.
Yeah, and Tig's obviously back into second place and probably out of the trying to get out of this fight, this absolute war at the moment for podium places, and the gaps are just not breaking apart at all. The DRS train is in full effect, and you can obviously see that. But obviously, it's just between ninth and second. They're all sitting in a queue, waiting to make a move. And this next DRS straight could really give a layup for Shaz's possible overtake on the next DRS straight. But now that Tig has had a beautiful exit compared to Shaz, Shaz will not have enough pace to merely pull off a roof. But Switcheroo batters the side pod of Shaz, but he is really trying to barge his way into the podium places, and Tig is actually maybe pulled back in by the DRS, but Tig was extremely close to losing the train and trying to catch up to Lusty, and he's doing so anyway. He has closed the gap from a nearly 3-second gap to a 1.7. 1.8. As further down the order, Bartunami jumps up to P8, but they're still fighting as they circle through the S section and into, not really an S section, but into turn 3, and cutting down, this is the S section, the carousel, and as they climb their way up the, not much of a hill, but it's still a hill, but as they ran the right-hander, and as Alfie Hudson wants to get Tsunami's P8 back, as he obviously was ahead, but Tig is just building a gap now, 9/10, nearly a second between the two, and can Switcheroo maybe do a move more cleanly this time as they barrel their way into another hairpin, like hard right than a hairpin. Just, I mean, turn 2 and 3 isn't really a hard right, but it's still somewhat of a right. As Tig is slowly closing that gap, it's now to a 1.6. No penalties, actually, surprisingly, no track limits penalties just yet in the first 10 laps, which is also a sight to see. No DNFs in the first 10 laps without retiring in the pits or anything. So it's been a extremely not exceeding track limits and not many crashes. So maybe a safety car may slowly be taken. The chances of a safety car is slowly being taken back, and obviously Lusty is actually running away from Tig again, and has kind of slowly built that gap by just a couple hundreds and thousands. But he's really closing again. But Shaz is now way closer than he was before, compared to the last 2 laps. But another bad exit compared to Tig can also cost him, as Tig may break soon into the DRS range of Lusty if enough pace is produced from the Mercedes chasing down the McLaren.
Yeah, Shaz is kind of close, but Switcher is closer behind him. Shaz might have to go for the attack. He's very close, and he can get it. Tig is closing off the inside, but he is getting overtaken by Shaz on the inside, but he is not giving up. He's still on the inside. The car is still there. Shaz has to go around the outside. He is in front, and he does a lovely move around the outside of turn 1 on Tig. What a move by Shaz. But this all is fighting. Somehow it's still not like increasing the gap from Shaz to Lusty now. The gap is only just at 1 second. It is just at over 1 second. It is sometimes going under that 1 second. So those softs are really dying at this point from Lusty's side. So he's not been able to really get away from the rest of the pack like I would have imagined. Well, I mean, of course, in Prestige, Tig and the other driver had, well, they were DRSing each other, and as well, drivers behind were really fighting. Here, we don't see that. Drivers are not really fighting like what Lusty would like. Lassie soon might think of a pit for mediums or hards. But at the moment, Shaz has the DRS on McCluskey. He's catching behind, he's sending it down inside, and he is in front of him. Shaz is gonna try, no, he's not even trying to go for the switchback, but he now needs to worry about switcheroo behind him. Behind, Tsunami has overtaken Josephiles up to 7th through turn 2. Very good move from him. Switcheroo still behind Shaz. Meanwhile, behind Ruggy and Nikolai switching places. They're very... At one point, they are in front of Steps, but they just can't get in front of him. Like, to be both of them in front of him. So they've been really struggling to get in front of Steps. Of course, Nicholas, again I mentioned that he has a broken front wing. Ruggy still on those hards, just hasn't been able to really overtake Steps fully. At any point, and then as well just to be in front of him this whole time. So it has been somewhat of a struggle to overtake that one horse driver in front of them. Back into the front, McCluskey's gap has shrunken to 3/10. Tig is right behind him, right behind his ass. He has a DRS, he's not using even ERS. Is he sending it? No, it doesn't. Shaz though, around the outside, switcheroo is as well fancying. What is going on around here? Lassie has to defend like crazy as well. Tig, Shaz and switcheroo, a bit of contact. They're almost recreating Sainz and Perez from Baku. Through turn 3, they're still side by side. Switcheroo around the outside tries to get that better exit, and he doesn't get that better exit, so it's still, the order is still the same somehow. After 2 wide in turn 1 and turn 2 almost, they're still the same order. McCluskey leading with Tig in P2, Shaz P3, Switcheroo P4, Marco going into the back of Switcheroo all of a sudden through turn 9. What was that from Marco and Switcheroo? But Marco is still in 5th. Tom is trying to get a look on Marco, but he just cannot get that room anywhere. At this rate, Tsunami might actually come back to this DRS straight. But now, as we go once again on lap 13, starting lap 14, this massive well, not really massive DRS straight, but anyways, Tig and McCluskey going into the pits from those softs. The rest are, of course, staying out as they're on the mediums. Tsunami as well is going into the pits from those mediums. McCluskey and Tig going for the mediums. Tsunami going for the hards. So a interesting strategy from Tsunami. GP and Brothers going into the pits. The Brothers 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and it is as well a double stack for the V-Corps, so it's even worse for him. Brothers for the hearts, it seems like it. Yes, he does go for the hearts. Kriplax for the hearts as well. McCluskey and Sig rejoin 14-15, but behind this three-way battle between Dragon, Alfredson and Brownie Boy, and as well they are not that far behind Steps, Niklas and Ruggy, who are finally, both of them finally are in front of Steps. But McCluskey and Tig, their undercut strategy might not pay out that much. McCluskey sending it down inside into turn 10 on Brownie Boy. Brownie Boy leaving enough space. Tig has to go for it on the same straight. He's trying to go on the inside, around the outside. Goes around the outside, a bit of contact on the entry. Tig has been pushed off by Brownie Boy. In the meantime, in front, Switcheroo goes for the race lead in front of Shaz. Josephiles goes into the pits. But this undercut from McCluskey and Tig might not work out as they planned. McCluskey is now overtaking Alfredson on the main straight. Doesn't have that much ERS in McCluskey though. So it's taken, but on the inside has the better tire, has the better car, and goes up to P11. Tig as well in front of Brownie Boy, and he's up to 13th. Tsunami rejoining just in front of Josephiles as well, so he didn't lose any sort of time. Actually, Brownie Boy went into the pit, so that's why Tig actually overtook him so easily. McCluskey trying to overtake the Dragon into turn 7 before turn 7, but he just doesn't have any sort of way to overtake him. Might need to overtake him into turn 9 once again, and he does overtake Dragon into turn 9 before turn 10. Dragon has no answer. Tig might have to go around the outside of turn 10. This would be a very good move. Of course, better tire, better car, and he is in front of him around the outside of turn 10. A very good move by Tig. And now these two are gonna have to catch up to steps, which shouldn't be that bad of a task. In the meantime, in front, Shaz is back in front of Switcheroo. Hudson in the pits. McCluskey, is he gonna go full attack on Steps? Steps still has that DRS. He's using all of his DRS. Is he gonna send it down inside? No, he's way too far back. He's way too far back. First Steps goes a bit wide through turn 1. He's sneaked up down inside into turn 2. Is he gonna send it? No, he doesn't. But Steps leaves the space open. Turn 3 around the outside. He might get him around the outside. Yes, he does get him around the outside. Ooh, almost lose it. Almost hits Steps. But thankfully, he was fully in front of Steps as he lost that car, and he's in front of Steps. Tig behind, he's trying to overtake Steps as well into turn 8. It's never gonna work out there. Into turn 9, he's right behind him, sending it down inside into turn 9, and he does it like McCluskey did on Alfredson. No, it wasn't Alfredson, it was someone else. Dragon it was who he did that. And now in front of both of them there are the two Ferraris. In the meantime, in front it's not going to be anything changing as Switcher is too far back. The two Ferraris are still running in 16th, 6th and 7th. Brad retired, but that's just by press of a button, so no DRS whatsoever. Niklas goes into the pits, so these two get one free position. Things have calmed down now, so I can give you some time to say something.
Anyway, as the fight for P6 is still not at a stalemate, Tig and Lussie just wanting to get past the positions and get into the lead and at a confident gap ahead of the rest of the pack. And this is what Lussie and Tig probably wanted for this strategy, and this is really kind of helping them out, as the gap to the leader is just about 17 seconds. And looking around, also further up the order, Switcheroo is ready to pounce on Shaz if he gets a good exit here compared to Shaz. It's a better exit from Shaz, but the banking was way better from Switcheroo with the help of DRS. Pulls to the right. And yeah, Tom goes into the pits and Switcheroo gets ahead of Shaz without much of a problem before the corner. And Marco ready to pounce on the two if he gets enough speed, as he is just at the moment a very close bystander to watching all of these people fight, as Ruggy has been overtaken by the front two of Tig and Lussie. So only Ibrahim, Marco, Shaz and Switcheroo that only are ahead of Lussie, and Switcheroo can probably already see that McLussie on his standings, and so does the rest of the top three, and already think, and are probably surprised that they have caught up in such speed. I mean, obviously there is the realistic performance and there are the better tyres, but obviously as if the rest of the drivers have just been behind, have just barely been defending. And it looks like probably that these guys are probably going to go into the pits here, the front three, as probably the pit stop time is coming around now for the medium compound tyres. But yeah, Marco in. And Shaz pulls to the right, and they're just going to overtake each other lap after lap on the same straight. And it's just going to be a switcheroo every time, just like the switcheroo's name. They're just going to swap around positions every time until they finally go into the pits, as Lussie is up into P3 and 4, with Marco in the pits and Ibrahim being overtaken. And now it is a 16-second gap towards the Switcheroo and Shaz. And Tig and Lussie are just doing this together. They're not even fighting each other. They just want to join back to the pack, to the front runners, as quickly as possible, as 15 seconds separate Lussie and P2 of Switcheroo. And Tig in P4 as well. He's had a decent race. Let's look at the position changes. Now, obviously we can count out Lussie and Tig, because we already know. I mean, Tig did start P6, so he's been doing pretty well. Ruggy's really hasn't really actually pit yet, so we don't know if he has really made up for that mistake at the start of the race and that incident. Obviously, Bar Tsunami, after some pits, he drops down to 10th drops one position. And then obviously you can see Nicholas, after him pitting, he drops down to P13 and just ahead of GP in the V-carb. But further up the grid, Switcheroo is still, this time Switcheroo can't overtake. But Tig actually gets ahead of Lussie. I mean, obviously, because of the DRS. But as they exchange positions, they still catch up to the top two. As obviously, looking at the tyres, it is a 13 lap difference in age. And as we look at the tyres of Shaz and Switcheroo, they don't really. I mean, they look the same as Tig's and Lussie's, but honestly, it looks a bit more bland compared to the other two tyres, sorry. But going into the hard right and left-hander, they're gonna finish the DRS section. Will they go into the pits now? Is it a good time to pit? They probably have around 60% tyre wear, and as they circle the banking, can Switcher get a move before they reach the pits? No, they can't. They don't go to the pit anyway, so Switcher gets back ahead of Shaz after being behind for a lap. And now Lussie has an opportunity to re-overtake Tig as he, not even trying, he just zooms past the Mercedes and gets ahead without a problem. 2 and 3 for McLaren, and Lussie is approaching, and Tig are approaching, as it's now the gap has shortened to 13 seconds, and they will be clearly ahead going into these last couple of laps. But obviously, if you look at Switcheroo's and Shaz's lap ages for their tyres, and compared to Lussie's and Tig's, if Switcher and Shaz go on for a few more laps, Shaz and Lussie and Tig may even not even have to pit. So this could be a crazy one stop. But obviously their tyres will obviously have to be monitored at a lot of the time. As at the moment, obviously, I forgot who it was. Bradders had to serve that 10-second penalty, but he obviously retired. But at the moment, so yeah, there they are into the pits, and Switcheroo has a 10-second penalty, so that's basically taken him out of the race, as he goes on the soft compound tyres for these, both of them go on the soft compound tyres for these next 14 laps, so it'll probably be another stop in, and there's obviously now the front two. The front two are back, and it's Tig and Lussie. Jose Felez comes out ahead. And look how many people overtake Shaz and Switcheroo. I mean, obviously they have the better tyres, but now they have a plethora of traffic to deal with. I mean, Switcheroo, with the 10-second penalty, he needs to get past everyone as quickly as possible.
Oh my god, there was a 3 wide between Rocky and Tsunami through the turns 4 and 5. I was a little bit worried one of them might be in the wall, but thankfully none of them were in the wall. But yeah, like you said, Switcheroo and Shaz have pitted for the softs. It is possible to make it to make a soft medium. It is going to be very close with the tire wear, with the danger of a puncture, but it can be possible. It is possible. And yeah, now Shaz and Switcheroo are going to be trying to catch up to them. Of course, it's going to be more Shaz trying to catch up to them, as he doesn't have a penalty compared to Switcheroo, who has a 10 seconds. Switcheroo is about to overtake Jorge Files, and he does get him on the straight easily like that. He's up to P3. Shaz as well up to 6th. McCluskey in front of Tig. These two will need to work together if they really if they really want to get that win on track. Of course, Switcher has that 10-second, like I said. Shaz up to 5th, overtaking Marco on the exit of turn 3. He's really trying to get that. He has the best chance of winning this race. Marco, Tom, and everyone who pitted for the hards have gone for the safe choice, but those who are trying to go for medium soft or soft medium are going for the more aggressive and well, technically faster strategy, but it brings more risk of getting a puncture. Shaz already overtaking Jose Files on the back straight, and he's already well, in front of Joseph Villas, 1.4 seconds behind Switcheroo. If he gets that DRS on Switcheroo, that would be absolutely fantastic for him, because then he can just catch up with Switcheroo with his DRS. They can really work together, as in the meantime, Tig and Lassie switch places, but that's going to be a lap-to-lap thing. Switcheroo goes into the pits. Switcheroo gets the fastest lap. Ruggy goes into the pits, what I meant to say. 23 laps on those hards, and now he's going to be going for the softs. Probably, no, actually mediums. He's going for the very safe choice. But yeah, Switcher and Shaz are catching like absolute maniacs on Lassie and Sig. Those softs at the moment are going very quick, and lap after lap they'll be getting a bit slower, but 2-lap-old softs compared to 10-lap-old mediums, it should be that those softs are going to be a lot faster compared to those mediums for way longer. What Tig's and Lassie's softs were compared to Switcher's and Shaz's mediums were, because both of them were of course 0-lap-old, or aka the same lap-old. Now the difference is 8 laps difference. Joseph Lins is going to be trying to defend his P5, but it's not going to be for much longer, as Marco is right behind him and he gets him easily after the banking. The same with Tom. So Joseph Lins drops down to 7th, might even drop down to 8th. Is Tsunami's going to send it? Yes, he sent it down inside, and he does get that moved on very cleanly. And Joseph Lins has lost 3 places in just one straight, just like that. He had plenty of ERS to use, but he didn't decide to use that, and so now he has lost 3 places just like that. Ruggy in the meantime fights yet again with steps, and now this time he has way better tires, and yeah, he's up to 12th. I just want to point this out that Niklas did not change his front wing. He's still driving with that damaged front wing, trying to basically drive it out. Just, yeah, drive it out. In the meantime, Shaz has caught up to Switcheroos and DRS. He's of course going to be trying to just work together with him. At the moment, of course, fast lap is to Switcheroo, 10.414. Let's see if Shaz is going to get that fastest lap. No, he doesn't, but does get up to 3rd, and now he's going to be hunting McCluskey and Tig. He seems to be the fastest driver at the moment, even though Switcher has the fastest lap. He is the fastest driver to, well, he's able to really get that win, as Switcher, of course, again has that 10-second time penalty. Joseph Files has left the session, unfortunately. Disconnection for him, EA being EA, it seems like it. And so, well, he's gonna have to join back in very quickly. He has a good gap behind though. Well, Hudson is the next one, almost a second behind him. But then after that, there's 11 seconds to his teammate Ibrahim, so it's not gonna be as bad as he would probably think. Shaz already within a second of McCluskey, not yet within that DRS, not within that DRS detection zone. But now, if he nails this corner, taking a lot of that gravel on the inside, actually, of turn 11. But now he has the DRS for this DRS straight. Shaz has 10 laps to go to try and overtake these two, as McCluskey overtakes Tig for the race lead. Shaz takes the fast lap away from Switcher, 10.379, and he's right behind Tig. And as the lap is going to go on, he's going to be right behind them. In the meantime, Tom is in front of Marco. The two Aston Martins are very close between each other in 6th and 7th. So they're doing damage limitation for Aston Martin in the constructors. Joseph Liss is still not back in. The rest of the pack back in steps and all those. Ruggy as well has left the session. Fortunately, but yeah, up in front, not down in front, up in front. Shaz, like I said, he is right behind Tig. 2/10, it's gonna be 2/10, less than 2/10. Switcher is as well right there. Of course, he's not gonna be trying. He's not gonna be able to really win this race or be on the podium. The best thing that he can hope for is 4th. He just needs to extend that gap from his teammate at the moment. Shaz, can he get that position switcher as well? Is looking around it. Tig overtakes McCluskey. There's a bit of contact. The two McLarens are going side by side into the first corner. That's close to contact. McCluskey and Shaz going side by side into turn 2. There's a little bit of contact between them. Tig is defending away from Shaz. It is a bit of contact all over the place. McCluskey not letting his teammate through, but now he has to let him through. Shaz up into P2 in front of his own teammate McCluskey, who's fighting for the championship with Oleg, but Shaz doesn't really care at this point. It seems like he is going for it for the race win. Tig in the next target for Shaz, and McCluskey gets overtaken by Switcheroo through turn 10. Shaz gets in front of Tig, and Switcheroo sets a devious down inside into turn 11 in front of Tig, and he gets in front of Tig. Tig loses a position to McCluskey, but that was a massively devious down inside into turn 11. He barely made himself into that corner, and let alone Tig. If he would have been still side by side there, then he would have been completely off the circuit. Tom in front of Marco, back in front of Marco, but Switcheroo might get few more penalties than just that 10-second one that he has at the moment. But this is going absolutely fantastic for Shaz, because at the moment now he has a driver that can block McCluskey. For now, of course, until those softs are gonna die and mediums are gonna get a bit better. Of course, it's not gonna be that good as, for example, at the beginning of the race when softs went bad. But we'll see what they can do. And yeah.
Finally. Anyway, as they make their way around the banking, the two that were pitted early on are now going to fight for P3, as Lossie has dropped out of the DRS range, which could cost him of the fight for P1, as Switcheroo gets ahead, but it doesn't really mean anything with the 10-second penalty. But Tig gets ahead of Lossie, as anyway, so now at the moment, earlier, before Tig overtook Lossie, it was still a 1-2 for McLaren at that moment. But now Tig has kind of put that to a stop at the moment, and we'll see how it pans out for the next 7 laps of the end of the race. So, going to the right-hander now, it's a fight further down the order, especially for P11, as it's 3 wide, and all this massive contact. There's massive contact between GP and Steps, and it's probably a good thing we've I've caught that, as probably something could be reported from either drivers, as it's cost them a position to DJ Death Dragon. But further up the order, Shaz wants to overtake Switcheroo as quickly as possible to get himself back in the lead.
Me? Okay. Yeah. Like you said, Shaz wants to get in front of Switcheroo, and there he goes, back into the front, up to P1, and McCluskey back to P3. So they have pretty much reverted the positions compared to lap 29, what they were. But at the moment for McCluskey, it's not looking too bad, as if he doesn't make any sort of mistakes, then he is gonna get at least P3. P2 can be probably the maximum in here, probably, but we'll see if those softs are going to be able to, stick around till the end of the race, or are they going to drop in the end, or is Shaz going to make a massive mistake? In the meantime, down the order, Dragon gets overtaken by GP into turn 1. And GP is in front. Steps could as well Dragon tried to as well, maybe try and send it down inside, but now might get overtaken by Steps. Steps has a good run on the exit of turn 3. They're side by side through the S's, and the Dragon is still in front of Steps. Thankfully for him. Up the order, Switcheroo is not gonna overtake Shaz. Tig is gonna overtake McCluskey. behind Tom is gonna overtake Marco. At the moment for switcheroo, he will be finishing in P7 with that 10 seconds. He will be behind Tsunami. Hudson is, well, 10 seconds behind Tsunami. And then there's, of course, the 18 seconds to the race leader. And then pretty much after the top 7, the grid is quite sparsed out. Up until then, fighting for P11, where there's GP, Dragon, Steps, Brownie Boy, and Alfredson very close behind everyone. Steps kinda close, but not close enough to go for the overtake.
Yes, and obviously Switcheroo is going to try and overtake Shaz, as he's going to try and obviously gain as much time as possible to not lose any more position than he already has with his 10-second penalty. As he dives to the right, he's going to try and get past the McLaren, and he does with ease, starting lap 33 with 4 laps to go, and we already have a lapping coming up with Ruggy is just around the corner for Switcheroo and Shaz to lap. What have I missed?
Tsunami is sending a massive dive bomb on Tom, which actually was clean. So
Well done to him.
you missed that. But it looked like it was gonna be close. Tom's trying to go for it through the S's side by side between them, and around the outside. Did he get him? Still dead, Tsunami and Tom side by side, but Tom gets back on Tsunami after that dive bomb into turn 1. And so he's back up to P6 and still gets that DRS on Marco. By the way, are you eating something?
I just was, yeah.
Because it sounded like you were eating. Maybe I
Górki
thought
Korniszone.
if you were still... yeah, in the race lead, Shaz is gonna overtake Switcher once again for that P2, and probably Sig is gonna overtake. Actually, no, he's not gonna overtake since Lassie got that DRS on the lapped car, so Tig has to stay in 4th for now, behind Tom, still behind Marco. After that fighting with Tsunami, it was mainly important to just catch up to Marco, and maybe for the final lap then to think about the overtake for P4, since of course switch was 10 seconds, have to be considered. Behind GP, close behind Dragon, and he should get him on the straight very easily. Could Alfredson do? No, Alfredson is way too far back. Brownie Boy a bit too far back as well. Although to be fair, he didn't have the DRS, so probably Alfredson got him actually earlier. So yeah, Alfredson, who at the first lap was pretty horrible, off track in turn 7, back up to P13. Not a bad race for him. Up in front, Shaz is about to start the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. It looks like he's gonna just take the race comfortably from Switcheroo on track. Tig up to 3rd in front of McCluskey. This is of course going to be important for the final lap. Tom gets Marco into turn 1, and he is in front of Marco. Behind Niklas has caught up to Ibrahim. He might fancy a move on Ibrahim on this main straight. The DR is open, and Ibrahim tries to close off the inside, but in the end Niklas had that massive amount of overspeed, and Niklas up to 9th. The first 3-second time penalty goes to Creeplax. Finally, a 3-second time penalty.
It's the second.
No.
It's the second. Kriplax
No,
got
it
one
isn't.
earlier.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. Whatever. Shaz is about to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Switcheroo, Switcheroo has a 10 seconds, and well, it looks like Shaz will be able to win this race comfortably. He just needs to just drive home, and he'll get it. McCluskey gets that P3 in front of Tig. This is going to be very important to watch, as well as for P5, as Marco is back in front of Tom. Behind Ibrahim is somewhat close behind Niklas. But he's 6 tenths behind. I don't think he'll be able to he'll be able to overtake Niklas for that P9, as well as Ibrahim doesn't have any sort of VRS as Niklas has some sort of VRS. Shaz, let's just go with Shaz. Shaz started P2, did a different strategy to his teammate McCluskey. McCluskey started softs, Shaz started mediums. At first it looked like those softs were better, but as the race went on, they looked like they were better on the mediums. Of course, then McCluskey and Tick tried to go for the undercut. It didn't work out. They're 5 seconds back. And through the final 2 corners, Shaz is gonna win the Dutch Grand Prix away in front of Switcheroo on track. Shaz wins the Dutch Grand Prix. Switcheroo in P2 on track, but McCluskey is gonna round off the McLaren 1-2. Not the way that probably McCluskey wanted, but it is anyway a McLaren 1 and 2 here in Zandvoort. Tig in 3rd, Marco 4th, Tom 5th, Switcheroo 6th, just in front of Tsunami. Yellows in the final lap. That is a Brownie Boy spinning through turn 10, damaging his front wing. Hudson rounds off, finishes in P8. Niklas finishes in P9. Ibrahim is going to finish in P10, rounds off the top 10, and then it is going to be GP, probably GP unless Alfredson is going to get him. GP still has plenty of VRS. Yeah, it's going to be GP in P11, Alfredson 12th, Dragon 13th, Steps 14th, Brownie Boy 15th, and Criplax in 16th, and then Joseph Velez and Roggy in P17 and 18. Brothers, the only one DNF of the Grand Prix, but that was just by press of a button.
Yeah,
Very good race, this one.
Yeah, so we're obviously going to have some interviews coming in. So Shaz would like to do one. So like join the party and we do like interviews.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah,
that is the first time that I will actually do them.
I always do them
wasn't-
when I can.
Okay.
Wait, play together. Okay, Lossie. What else is there?
I didn't know that, to be fair, but whatever.
Tig, and then yeah, invited the 3.
But yeah, McLaren. I have a dark screen. It ain't loading me. Okay, now it loaded. So yeah, pretty much a perfect weekend for McLaren. 44 points for McLaren, the full pot for them, compared to Aston Martin, who got only 18. So they are gonna gain massively on Aston Martin, and McCluskey is going to gain good amounts on Ollie. I got invited by Shaz.
By Shaz, so did I. Probably to do interviews. So wait.
Should we join the...
He's with, he's probably with Tig and, okay.
I already joined.
Alright, see ya. We'll see you there.
You would have been cooked if we did the normal strat.
And then Shaz is left.
What? I invite them. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it would have worked.
By the way, how much front left tire did you have, Tick? Last lap of softs?
50, 45.
Okay. Yeah. Might have been my bad.
Alright, we just need to wait for Shaz to join and we can do it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Wait, so who got 3rd? Tig got 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so we start interview with Tig. So Tig, a great race today, probably from your display. Good better from your qualifying result in P6. And how did you just feel after that race in general?
I think, yeah, I mean, me and Lossie, we're working together, and then because Shaz got enough to work together with his own teammate, So, yeah, I think we could have definitely been on the top step, me and Lucy, but we just switched, decided to pretend the dive bomb and just put me in the gravel. So there's just nothing I can do there. But yeah, I think it was a solid race, good tyre wear and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw that you had a very interesting strategy, especially with Lassie. So, what was your entire your game plan in general?
So it was similar to the Prestige one with Rob. So you would do 14 laps on the softs. I break DRS, but we couldn't break DRS because of Switch again. Switch decided he wanted to battle me. So you couldn't break DRS, but the game plan was break DRS, and then we would have about a second, 2 second advantage, and then we box and get an even bigger advantage. But it's just unlucky today, I guess.
Yeah, there's obviously this in the championship to try and close the gap to the front runners of Lassie and Ollie X. Do you think you can maybe do a last minute
Well,
challenge or not?
I think, to be honest, it's just game P3 now, trying to keep Mika ahead of Mercedes. I think just P3 in the championship, and hopefully Alfie can keep on getting good performances. So we can help keep Michael in ahead of Mercedes, and that's the plan really. Yeah, just P3 in the championship.
Do you have any other questions, Wildstorm?
No, I was literally not ready for this, so I have literally nothing.
Okay, fair enough. Lassie,
Yes.
how do you? Very amazing qualifying. One of the first driver to get into the 108s in qualifying. So how do you feel? How did you think that pace in qualifying kind of reflected onto the race?
I think pace was good, but in the strategy we kind of had more degradation than expected, and we had to box very early, and somehow the soft runners in the second stint, their tires did not wear out at any moment, while our mediums just kept in this consistent mediocrity of a pace. So we had to deal with that, and we brought 1-2, and congratulations to my teammate Wesley Chassat, who has finally won a BP race since a very, very long time.
I think back on that qualifying in Q2, you were very challenged by the reserve Ruggy. Do you think he has a good future in BP Racing League?
Who?
Ruggy.
Who is
Ferrari.
crazy?
Rocky, I understood Rocky. Rocky Balboa here. Rocky. What happened to him in the race?
He disconnected, and he got taken out.
Oh.
No, I think, sorry to cut in, but I think Switch took him out again, so Switch is going to get an even bigger
Really?
penalty. Yeah, he decided to make it 3 wide, and then he just kamikazed Ruggy.
Well, about Rogi, I haven't seen so much from him, so I'd have to see. But yeah, the kid's got talent, so.
Okay, right. Any other? Okay, did you come up with a question, or do you still?
Was there any sort of things about maybe team orders between you and Shaz, maybe giving you that, trying to at least give that win to you in
Papaya
the
rules,
end?
mate. Papaya rules. No team orders at all. Not
Okay.
team orders. If we had the same strat, we could have died there. So, yeah. Well,
Okay.
Okay. So finally, the race winner, Shaz.
Hello. What the fuck?
Oh fucking god.
Hi, Chaz. Sorry.
Anyway, Shaz, how do you feel after finally winning a race?
Happy. I was by far the fastest person on track. Tig thinks he would have won.
Yeah, I would
Finished,
have won, mate.
finished
Me and
6
Lucy
seconds
would have
ahead of him.
won. Oh, I can't be arsed.
Getting like half a second elapsed him. I
I-
would
can
also
I
like to say my
correct
teammate working with a Mercedes. I will be reporting that to my TP.
You're using
So
my
that
engine.
wasn't really on.
You're using my engine.
And then he lied to me about strategy, saying he's going to start on mediums and start on soft.
I didn't say what I was going to
Interesting.
start on. I didn't say
Interesting. So I'm going to have words with the TP. I think I'm in a title fight, you know? Second half of the season.
Sorry, quiet down.
But yeah. Most experienced driver in the grid, knew the right strategy, knew what to do. So yeah. I'd like to thank the two commentators today who did cover for Reggie. Big up the Polska. So yeah, I'd like to thank them as well.
Thank you.
So 1-2 both qualifying and race with you and Lassie. So do you think that can affect your form further on and get more better team results?
I'm beating him in every single race until the mystery round now.
Yeah, P16 name ready.
Because he used to give me setups and now he refuses as well because he realises I'm a challenger. So I understand what's happening in the McLaren team. I know that he might be getting dropped in the future and he's like covering all bases. I've heard he's going to Mercedes, but who for? I don't know.
Nah, he's not taking my seat anymore.
It's only rumors.
It's only rumours.
Can I ask you a question?
No.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, getting a Red Bull with a 10S to work with you, Charles, instead of your own teammates.
I was behind him going to the pit lane. My aura was a bit
Did
too
you
much.
hit
He
him?
broke
Did you hit
late.
him? Did you hit
No,
him?
I didn't hit him.
Alright, that's gonna get investigated. We need
Investigate that shit.
I think.
Well, I get a 5, I still finish ahead of you, because you're shit.
Yeah, you're gonna get a
You work with Red Bull. Why do you say I work with Mercedes?
No, but I only work with Red Bull when I didn't know what Switcheroo sent dive bombs in me.
No,
Piston.
you're
We weren't
not
working.
allowed to talk. I haven't asked you a question, man.
Alright,
I mean, he almost killed me in the pit entry as well. So.
Yeah,
report that.
Switcheroo needs to be banned, mate. He's worse than Max Verstappen.
Respect Max Verstappen.
What?
He's not that quick. Switcheroo.
I didn't say he was quick.
See, he's like Max Verstappen.
He's dirty like Max Verstappen.
Could have said Maldonado or somebody, couldn't you? Idiot.
Yeah, Charles, your prime is Mazepin, little man. Hold on, talk.
Mazepin don't win races.
Yeah, Mazepin could win.
Technically, right now I'm the quickest guy in BP.
Say again?
Technically, I'm the quickest guy in BP right now. Technically, on a technicality. All the X isn't there. Alright, is that it? Guess so.
Yeah.
Wildstorm, do you have any other questions?
No.
Wildstorm, do the intro now. Do the intro. Do the outro. Why did I say intro?
Oh
Do
my
the
god.
outro.
Okay. So my outro, I guess.
Oh my god.
Bring back Helix, so clear of his bollocks.
Helix and Wildstorm.
No, I'm joking. Wildstorm's so clear.
It's Nico and Wildstorm now, not man.
Yeah, you've been new Helix, Nico?
Wait, what's the next round? What's the next round?
Belgium.
I was gonna
Oh
say,
my god, let's go!
next week is Belgium. The
You need
gap
to put your
has been.
voice in it. You need to put your voice
Shut
in
up.
Yeah, shut up, Tig.
So, next week is Belgium. The gap has been close in both championships. And, well, nothing really else to add. Do you have, Nico, anything else to add? Do you three have anything else to add?
Yeah, I've got something to add.
Go ahead.
God, you should have said that. Oh my
Stop
god.
delaying it!
I don't think Shaz will get top 5 next race.
Okay.
That's big
We'll be
words.
Oh, can I just put it out there? Lusty had a Q3 ban today and missed out, so I think that deserves a DSQ in my opinion.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Okay.
Joking!
Right,
Next
we'll
week.
see you in Belgium. Goodbye.
That's nice.
Yeah, ciao.
Adios.
See you next week, maybe. See you.
See you in
at
Prestige,
least.
Wildstorm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see you in Prestige. Bye.
I'll win that one as well for you.
No, you won't.
See you next time. Goodbye.